Hey guys, my name is Stella Kittrell, and today we have Birkin Kittrell. I am so excited to do this video for you guys. I feel really passionate about it today. I was filming a vlog and I had a totally different video planned for you, but this is so important, especially if you deal with PCOS. About a year ago was in Aspen, and I made this really vulnerable video with you guys about I was really intentional and really making progress in my PCOS journey and just having more regular periods. As a lot of you guys know, I want kids one day, and not only myself, but my husband and I are just working on our bodies and just having the best things that'll help with fertility overall, whether it's what we're eating, our movement, our activity, just overall working on our health. And so one thing I worked on since that video last year, I really told you guys I'm serious about it this year. I'm going to work on my PCOS. I'm going to have 12 periods. I did not have 12 periods, but I made a lot of progress, and I wanted to talk to you guys through it today and be very clear about what I did that helped me, because there are 4 different types of PCOS. There's PCOS from inflammatory PCOS, which I have. You have birth control induced PCOS, insulin resistance PCOS, which is actually the most common. And the 4th type of PCOS is adrenal PCOS, which messes with your male hormones in your body, your androgens in your body, and gives you issues that way. This is something I wish I would have known years ago when I was diagnosed with PCOS. I think that was around 2021 where I was first diagnosed, maybe 2020, that there were different kinds. Insulin resistance PCOS has 80% of women who struggle with PCOS have it. So it is totally fair and valid. That's the most information online. That's the one that you can get help with through common practices. And where I learned this last year, I did not have that kind of PCOS, and I just had a very honest conversation with my doctor. I didn't know there were different kinds. She actually told me, and then I went and, did my own research. But I found out the hard way, and I would like to share that story because it really risked my life. And I don't want anyone else to go through that just because there was assumption like, oh, every PCOS is the same. It's not. I am not a medical doctor. I'm not trying to be your doctor right now, but I'm sharing my experience. So if you do struggle with PCOS, you can take your concerns to your doctor. And I so highly encourage you to do this, because being able to be so honest with my doctor, if you've seen some of my videos the last 6 months, I've been very open about all of August I worked on my PCOS, September, and I'm going to tell you guys what that meant in this video today. And I'm going to be very open about everything. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So last January, when I started my intentional PCOS journey, I was drinking my PCOS tea, which was great. It didn't really matter which one, it was the actual herbs in it. And then I found out you could just make it from Amazon. So you can buy the bulk herbs and make it yourself, which was cool too. But no matter what, the tea worked. The tea helped me ovulate. The tea helped me get my period and regulate me a little bit. The thing about the tea though, is it was like a supplement. So something I was getting really fatigued by is every time I was scrolling TikTok, I would hear and read, try this PCOS supplement, try this PCOS tea, balance your hormones here, balance your hormones there. And I kind of thought about the American medicine system, although these were more Eastern medicines. I thought about, well, why is there always a supplement pushed? I believe food is really healing, and that's something that I learned way too late in life. And not only does food heal your body, I know food also can harm your body. I know that from firsthand experience too, especially from this experiment. And during the time I had made that video, I was currently at the time of the video, I was in a fast with my church, and I had given up sugar for just the 21 days. Every year we do like a 21-day fast. And the last day of me being in Aspen, which I believe was the last day of the fast, I got my period. And I said, I was thankful, I was happy. And I didn't think too much of it. I did make a joke to my husband. I was like, oh, I got my period. Isn't that weird? I didn't eat sugar. Oh, I wonder if it's sugar. Little did I know, I was about to go on this whole journey for the rest of the year. So I came back home, and then my periods were I don't remember my periods in the beginning of last year, but I remember on my spirit, it felt like God was making me remember the sugar thing. And it started this journey where I started limiting my sugar. I started switching sugar where I could. I started just limiting how I was going before. I low-key think this time last year I was a sugar addict, and that's a really intense thing to say, but genuinely for my behaviors, I really think I was. It was so normalized to just have a little sweet treat, or just, have something sweet. I don't think it was normal. If I was an alcoholic, I feel like it'd be the equivalent of, oh, it's just a glass of wine tonight. Oh, it's just, and I feel like when you can't walk away from something and you can't just not have it beyond your desire to have it, I feel like that's an issue. I feel like if you don't really want something, but you want to keep consuming it, there's another underlying problem here. And so when I came home from Aspen, I wanted to go beyond healing myself through supplements and herbs, because I was like, there's a root issue here. And I feel that although incredibly helpful and does happen, I want to see if there's something else I could be doing to help myself with PCOS. So at the time, I had started weaning back on my tea. I didn't completely stop until like the middle of last year. And I started experimenting more with the sugar. So summertime, this is right after I got married. I got married in April of 2024. I still had not had an ovulate. I had not ovulated from April, May until the end of June. Maybe it was the beginning of July. I was just so fed up. I was like, I'm married. At the time, I assumed just because you're married, you could try having kids. Lo and behold, that's all. I've already made a video on that. Like, that was just not our reality. I just really wanted to start having kids right away. That was not our path at the time. And I remember I had cut back sugar again. I was like, let me just see something. Again, on my spirit all year was this sugar thing. Like, I was just putting 2 and 2 together. Like, I didn't have sugar. I got a period within 3 weeks. That's kind of odd from not having a period for like a month and a half or 2 months. I did that. And then I had a period. Or no, I did that and then I ovulated. I got a positive OPK. One thing about my type of PCOS, and I'm so blessed and it makes me very emotional, is I don't struggle a lot with ovulating. That is a really big issue in women with PCOS, and my heart goes out and is so empathetic to the women who deal with ovulation issues. I am one of them. I just don't deal with it into the extreme of a lot of people. I seem to ovulate every other month, which is really interesting. And at the beginning of 2024, all of my cysts were on my right side of my ovaries. And now, the last time I checked, maybe 2-3 months ago, they were on my left side. And it changes like that. Like, that does happen. The biggest issue why it's difficult for women to get pregnant with PCOS is because ovulation can be so unpredictable. And so by this time, I was tracking every single day. I learned how to take my BBT temperature. I was taking that every morning. And then every day at 5 o'clock, I was taking my OPK stick, my ovulation prediction stick, tracking every day. And the only reason this can start to feel really taxing is when you are not ovulating regularly and you have 60 days go by. I remember one time last year I had 80 days go by and I still hadn't ovulated. And 80 days of consistently having failure, it is so mentally draining. And I don't want to go too deep into the emotional side of it because I have already made a video on it. If you watch my video of, nervous for being pregnant or whatever I called it, I really went into the emotional side of it, but I really want to stick to the physical side of what I was going through at this time. And after I ovulated in July, that was the first time I had an oopsie in my life. Like, I have been pregnant one time in 2015 and I had a miscarriage. I didn't know I was pregnant. In hindsight, I knew just based on my symptoms, but I didn't know at the time I was, and nor was I trying. And after that was 2015. So it's been 10 years this year. I've been really careful. There's no time ever before getting married I would have ever had a wonder. And there was one time I convinced myself of that, but it would have been like such a shot in the dark, like a Hail Mary, if that would have even been the case. Even though I used to not track my ovulation, I just knew not to do things that could lead to pregnancy. And saying that, in July, when I ovulated, I had sex the day before ovulation. And I was like, this is it. Like, I never had that experience before where I knew I was ovulating. That turned out to not be a pregnancy. And that kind of sent me in the biggest depression and a little bit of the emotional side. I had prayed about it and I heard God specifically say, not yet. And it got very emotional after that, but I want to talk about the physical parts of that. When I heard not yet, then I was like, what's all this for? And physically, I was like, I don't care when it's going to be, but it's going to be because God made me a promise. So I'm going to start going crazy. So end of July, I went back to my OBGYN, love her. And I was like, look, I need to prepare my body for pregnancy. And she would always ask me, like, are you trying or are you not? I'm like, no, but like, I want to be ready. I have had every pre-panel test done, everything done. I just needed everything done. Like, where are my levels? Blood checked, blood glucose, which was crazy because, as you know, if you don't know, I had weight loss surgery a couple years ago, and one of the side effects of that is called reactive hypoglycemia. So when you eat sugar but don't have protein to like balance it out, your body will spike and then crash, and it can crash to super dangerous levels. My glycemic index was at 21. You can go into literal coma at that point and actually die. I had realized that was a big motivator in me to not have sugar, because I told her, I was like, I don't feel this faint or this weak or this weird if I don't eat sugar. The more I avoided it, the more I didn't have that like crash spike needing sugar tablets kind of meal. I just realized like, hey, if we don't eat sugar as often, we don't have these. And that was actually kind of the motivation I needed to stop eating sugar every day. It felt like such a chain in my life. It felt like, and I didn't realize it was affecting me so hard. And it wasn't necessarily just the sugar. It's the fact that my body, it's physically inflamed whenever I have it. So, you know, I have issues with acne when I eat sugar. I have issues with my ovaries when I eat sugar. And I've seen on ultrasound how when I don't have sugar in my life daily, how it is benefiting me. And so not only that, but when I had weight loss surgery in 2021, that was my New Year's resolution. I said, I'm going to stop eating everything I'm allergic to: dairy, wheat, almonds, hazelnuts, peanuts. So one thing I did that year, I didn't have any of that. I had weight loss surgery, and then I wasn't eating a lot of sugar because I had weight loss surgery. That year I moved to Maryland, and then I officially moved to Maryland in 2022, and I found my current doctor. I've been with her ever since. And she said, you have no signs of PCOS. So at that time I had nothing going on, but I was so intentional with my diet, and I wasn't inflaming my body. And now I've learned so much on ways that inflammatory PCOS has always kind of made sense if I would have known about it, and how my acne on my face, on my chin would flare up. That's an indicator to me that I'm allergic to something. So just learning so much about me. And I'm telling you this so you can learn so much about you. Those things that kind of click in your head, like, I wonder if this is affecting me. Take that to your doctor and say, you know, can we talk about this? And your I respect doctors so much. They know so much more than I ever could. And I've learned so much from my doctor. And my doctor's like, great. She'll lay it all out. I know I praise her every time I talk about her. She'll lay it all out and then be like, okay, go Google it if you want. She'll encourage you to go do your own research, but she will lay it all out for you. In August and September, I was going to the doctor like 2-3 times a week. I know God said not yet, but this is all I've ever really wanted. And so my heart is heavy, and I just want to be prepared. And so August, September, I did not have a period. And then I ovulated at the end of September. In early October, I had my period. But at this time with my doctor, we were trying to talk birth control again. I said, I don't want birth control. It never works well. I'd finally surrendered, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to take this birth control Slind. Like, if that's what we have to do, that's what we have to do. The only birth control I've ever done well on are progesterone only pills, and only to induce a period, but not to stay on long term. I had the worst reaction, ended up in the hospital, had like 5 o'clock in the morning. I thought I had a blood clot, and I didn't, thank God. It was just this moment where I was irritated because I didn't need to start Slind, because she kept waiting for my period. That's why I hadn't started it since August. She's like, well, when your period comes, you'll take Slind. When your period comes, you'll take it. You'll start it. And I just hadn't. And she had told me, she's like, you know what? Like, we're just going to just start it. Like, I need you to start it. Or she gave me progesterone, I think, to kickstart my period. And then I was going to start Slind. At this point, though, I was halfway through the 2 weeks between your ovulation and your period. So I knew my period was going to come. Again, that's something I don't struggle with. I don't struggle with ovulating period 2 weeks later. Like, that is 14 days on the dot, if not 15. Every time I get my ovulation, it feels like I could just breathe, because that is the issue I have. The issue is we need to ovulate. And so we've been having some serious conversations the last 6 months too, just about the new administration in office, what that can mean for my access to things that can induce ovulation, help me get pregnant when time's right. And if anything, I am allowed to get that now and hold on to it in case it gets taken away. So like, I needed all this. Like, this is what we've been planning. This is why I kept going to the doctor, like a real solid family plan. And then that month of October was insane, because I knew I was going to ovulate, but I said, you know, I'm going to trust the process. I knew I had already ovulated. I knew my period was going to come a week. I got a period from the ovulation, a period from the progesterone. And then I ovulated a month, like 2 days after I had my period. Again, wasn't careful. Again, didn't get pregnant. And then I had another period. So now I'm feeling like really not great, because I'm like, dang, I had 2 accidents and still didn't get pregnant. Like, what's going on? I was like, you know what? Let me just keep on track. Obviously, birth control didn't work. That was a really, really scary month for me. Let me just stay on track. Again, at this point, I've really reduced sugar. Like, I hadn't cut it out like completely yet until Thanksgiving, I had made the decision to stop drinking. I can't tell you the last month I've drank. I don't know. I haven't drank in a long time, but I've been working on just being sober. And sober to me was not just alcohol, weed, stuff like that. Sober was also things that are addictive to me. And for me, that is sugar too. November, I decided to quit sugar mainly. Like there are times that I celebrate with sugar, whether it's Christmas, I'll have a cookie, or, I just celebrated 9 years on YouTube. I had a piece of cake. So I find times to enjoy sugar and celebrate it. I'm at the point now in my sugar journey where if I eat it, it doesn't even like the feeling I get inside, the high and the crash and the irritability. I'm way more sensitive to it than I was. But the better news is I've been having consistent periods every month, and it's awesome. I think November I ovulated later. Like my period came in the beginning of December, but then I had a period December, and then I had a period this month. And it's just been flowing. Like my next one, like I just ovulated the other day, and I should get a period in the beginning of February. So it's all working out, and it's just so much progress, and I'm so proud of myself. Like looking over the past year, it went by so fast. Like if you have a goal, run after it. I'm doing a VSG again group for people who are considering surgery or have had the surgery and gained a little bit of weight back, because it was so helpful for me for my PCOS, my fertility journey. And now, like my husband told me 2 days ago that he's on board with him cleaning up his diet and lifestyle. I sent him a video 2 days ago just about men and how that impacts fertility too. And we're not trying right now, but I want my body to be prepared. For a fact, I want my body to be prepared. And I'm so proud of the progress I've done in the last year. If you guys want to go for it, go for it. A year goes by so fast. So there's so much progress, but I think at the root of it, find a good gynecologist. I've had some not good ones. I had one almost take my life on accident. Or not even by accident, just with malpractice. So find a good gynecologist and get vulnerable. Get open, get to the root of things. I can't even tell you how many not HSG, what's it called? I don't know what it's called, where they take the camera up there. That is the most painful experience, but I will do it again and again and again to track the progress of my PCOS. They like put a camera up there, but for some reason it hurts so bad. All these procedures, if you have good insurance, like take advantage of it and please get these things done. I would even go to another country to do this if I didn't have good insurance, like to get it done, because it's so important, because it doesn't just affect you, your fertility. Like what I've learned this last year, it's not just about your children's life. Your life is valuable too. My life is valuable. I'm allowed to be healthy for me. I'm allowed to be healthier and properly functioning for myself, not just for my kids, not just to be here for them, but for me. And it's very, very liberating and exciting, and it's cool to see progress. And so now this next year, I've gotten my husband to like come along too. I'm like, well, how did I gain like 15 pounds last year? And a lot of it was because I moved in with my husband, and he ate differently. So I started eating differently, but we found a nice middle ground for both of us. One where I can just kind of eat how I want. He can learn more meals that I like, and I can meet him in the middle and buy groceries of what he likes, and more of a team effort, because we do want children, and it's really nice to have a partner to do that with. But beyond the child, like I'm worth it. I'm worth having a properly functioning, high efficiency body. That's going to take me the distance, and I'm really grateful for that. That's my PCOS journey 1 year. If you're taking more like commercial supplements, or just see what you can do. See what you can do. I'm not saying don't do tea, don't do supplements, because, they're great. Most of them are natural. But that's also a lot of options too. Like birth control really does help with that too. And if your body can take birth control and you don't mind it, that can help regulate you. I'm saying all this to say, get honest with your gyno about the root and what you guys can do. And that 2 months of me going in and out of the doctor's office was a lot, but it helped me progress so much. Like I'm ovulating like once a month now. That is such a blessing from where I was a year ago, and not fathomable. I don't remember a time in my life other than when I had weight loss surgery where I was ovulating every month. So I'm extremely grateful, and I don't take it lightly. And now it's like we've been given a platform of good, and this next year I'm just going to build on top of that, and I'm going to build on top of that success, and more things that I kind of think about in my head, take action on, and move forward toward healing my body completely. Thank you so much for watching this video. I would love to hear you guys' PCOS stories, especially your success stories. It really warms my heart, and I stalk forums to read them, but I want to hear from my community because it's better. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you guys really soon. Bye-bye.